Catherine here with Circle Art Designs. Today we will be working on Project 4 from the Bargain Bead Box for November. This will be a Bicone pendant necklace. From the Bargain Bead Box, we will be using the 4 by 3 millimeter faceted multicolored quartz rondelles. I think these beads are amazing. From my own stash, we will be using the 3 millimeter gold ball spacers. And from Bead Box Bargains, we will be using a crystal hexagon bead for the pendant in slate peacock. It is just a lovely crystal pendant. We will also need some wire to make the components for the necklace. I'm using artistic wire in a gold for this one. And as always, I will be using my trusty looper to make the ends of the components, and you will need a wire cutter. For the chain portion of this necklace, I will be using from the Metal Gallery found at Hobby Lobby, some gold chain. So with this style necklace, I always start with a large portion of wire for the components, straightening it out as best I can. Then using my looper, I will place the end of the wire in the small hole at the top and mash the handles together, and it will make a loop for me. That's the beginning of the first component. So each one of these components will consist of 4 of the gold spacer balls and 3 of the rondelles. I have separated them into different colors as opposed to doing 3 different colors in each component, but you can do it any way you want. So once you have your loop on, begin with a gold ball. Then I am adding a blue rondelle, another gold ball, a blue rondelle, another gold ball, a blue rondelle, and then the last gold ball. And this will complete the component. Oh my, it looks like this is going to be a chase the little bitty beads around my hand day. Sorry about that. Okay, with all the beads for this component finally on the wire, we are ready to use the looper again. Because I use a long wire to prevent waste when I'm making these, you will take the long end and put it all the way through the hole till the beads strung on the wire touch the other side of the looper. Squeeze the handle, and there you have it, a completed component. Okay, let's try this again. Take your looper, put your wire into the looper, making sure to get the end in the small hole. Mash the handle. It should break the wire or cut the wire and give you a perfect little round circle. This time we will be going with the red rondelles. So it'll be a gold spacer ball, a red rondelle, a gold spacer ball, red rondelle, the spacer ball. A red rondelle, and then ending with a gold spacer ball. I am really concentrating here to hit those little holes. I need to find my magnifying glasses. With the red component now put together, it's time for our looper. Take your wire, put it into the looper, hitting the little hole across from the top. Move it all the way down to the beads touch at the other end. Squeeze the handle, and you have a loop. And there it is. The red component is complete. We will do a yellow component and a green component, and then start and do it all again for the other side. I'll meet you back when it's time to string them together. I guess I should say join them together. We will be using oval jump rings to join each component together. I'm so glad I didn't cut right here. If you notice, my loop did not completely close. I will use my needle nose pliers to make sure that the loop touches the wire and it's joined together tightly, because you will not want your jump rings to slide out. Go ahead and finish your components, and I'll meet you back here. Now that I have all my components completed and they're lined up 2 by 2, I'm going to work on the pendant itself. This pendant is drilled straight through, and I want to use some of the rondelles as dangles under this pendant. So I will need a loop on the top and a loop on the bottom of the pendant. I'm using my larger loopers for this project. This is a 2.25 millimeter loop that it will make. Using the artistic wire, I'm going to do the same thing as we did to start the components and make a loop at the top. So I am making a mistake here, and you will see my famous finger wag in just a second. The pendant itself needs a loop at the bottom and a loop at the top, but we will use head pins when we're making the fringe, the beaded fringe. You know, you can get these loopers in several different sizes. I think I have a 1.25 or a 1.50 and a 2.25 as my loopers, a blue and a yellow. But I think it comes in other sizes that get larger. I just have never bought them. And now I'm taking my pliers and I'm straightening the loops up so that they go the same direction. It really doesn't matter which way they point as long as it's the same direction, because this is going to spin and it will always be facing the right way if you put it on facing the right way. In case you're wondering, I'm just checking to make sure I like the way this beaded dangle will look. I'm not going to use the components here. Although, as you have just seen, I do make faux pas sometimes. As you can see, I have already made the beaded fringe for this pendant. I used the same pattern as I did for the components. only this time we're putting it on a head pin. You will do the same thing. When you get it all beaded on the head pin, you will use the looper and make a loop at the other end. Now we are going to take the beaded fringe and put it on a jump ring. I used a medium-sized jump ring for this, but not too big because I wanted to be able to swing. Oh, note, when I was putting those on head pins, I moved back down to my smaller loopers so that the hole wouldn't be too big for the pendant. And if you haven't worked with jump rings before, remember, you use 2 pliers. You take one plier, hold it steady, and twist with your other wrist so that it opens it slightly. Do not pull it apart. I made that mistake one too many times. It never goes back into shape. Sorry I've gotten too low in the frame, but what I'm doing here is putting the beaded fringe onto my jump ring, and then I'll close it. Make sure you check that it's closed good and tight. Now we're ready to put our components together. I will be using the oval jump rings in the next to smallest size I have. You can find these on Amazon. I think they start at 2mm, 3mm, and up, but it could be 1mm, 2mm. It didn't really tell me. But out of 4 sizes, I'm using size number 2, with 1 being the smallest. Here is where we get lots of practice opening these oval jump rings. And here's what they look like joined together. Sorry, I keep falling off the screen. I think I'm in the camera lens, and I'm just not. But it's a matter of putting the piece that you have already joined together on a new jump ring and adding the next color until you form a chain. If you haven't already, would you please take a moment and like and subscribe? Thank you. So, quick question here. What is your favorite part about jewelry? Making it or wearing it? I like making it best, although I love wearing it too. But making it, I find really relaxing. Of course, unless I'm chasing little beads around the mat. Now this is the last of this side of the chain, and we should have both components finished because I have already done the other side of the chain. Okay, isn't that just lovely? Now we're ready to join these 2 links of chain. You will need a connector with a place to connect on each side for the chain, but you will also need to be able to connect the pendant at the bottom. I used one that I picked up from Michael's. I cut 1.5 inches of chain for both sides of this connector. I will connect them with oval jump rings. So to make the necklace portion of this, taking a jump ring, you will place your component chain, then the piece of gold chain you cut, and then your connector, and close the jump ring. And you will do this on both sides. Sorry, I couldn't show it to you step by step. I did a whole section with my hands completely off the screen. But again, once you have everything laid out, you place your component chain on a jump ring, and then on the same jump ring, you will add the little piece of chain that you have cut 1.5 to 2 inches, and then your connector, and close the jump ring. And on the other side, you will do the same thing, and this completes the necklace part except for the clasp. Once you have done that, then it's just a matter of taking another jump ring and adding your pendant that you made to the bottom of your connector. For this, I used the number 3 of the 4 oval jump rings in my packet. Now we're ready to add chain onto the back, whatever length you would like the chain to be. I wanted an over your head necklace, so I am using about an extra 5 inches on the back of this piece. I measure out against a ruler the 5 inches, and then I slip a piece of wire at the 5-inch mark. I dangle it, and then where the pieces come together, I hold and clip, and then all I have to do is clip on the other end. You can clip first and then dangle it and clip the second piece. I've done it both ways. Now, using jump rings, I will attach the chain to the component chain we have made on each side. Now it's just a matter of putting the closure on the back you would like. You can make this an infinity necklace, which means you would join it together with a closed loop. Or you can use a lobster claw on it or a toggle. It doesn't really matter. My first choice was to use a magnetic. That was a bad choice. I have to go back and put a different type of closure on it because I did not take into account how much metal was in this necklace. Thank you so much for joining me on this beading journey today. Y'all have a great day beading. I'll see you next time. Catherine, Circle Art Designs.